the best ideas can come from anywhere. So letting people have a voice and letting people listening to ideas and listening to concepts and also allowing people to make mistakes but grow and support them and put them into an environment where they can really perform and shine.
Well, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a special edition of Banijay Elle Talks. So today we have Philly joining us. And Philly, we just wanted to start off by asking you, can you tell us a bit about your role at Banijay?
I am the CEO of Screentime New Zealand and the country manager for New Zealand. We're a production company that's been in business since 1996. I took over the management of it 18 years ago. And basically, we're a multi-genre company. So we do docos, fact end, and drama, which is kind of required, I guess, in the New Zealand market because it's a small market. So making sure that you have a good volume of work is really important.
And what would you say would be a moment in your career that really shaped your career direction?
The one for me, I guess, that was really exciting and really intimidating at the time was when I was offered the opportunity to take over the management of Screentime New Zealand. The company had been floundering a little bit, and I was only 28 at the time. And that the current management of the company came across from Sydney and sort of said, "We'd like you to take it over." And at that stage, I'd only produced probably a couple of shows, and I was a bit flawed. And very, very nervous. And they basically, the offer was, if you stuff it up, we'll fire you, but good luck. And it was the most terrifying opportunity, and it was also the best opportunity. And it's been great because we've been able to grow screen time, and it's kind of gone from strength to strength. Yeah, that was a real game changer for me.
And what would you say would be the advice that you still need to hear yourself, and also the advice that you give more often?
I think there's a couple of things. I think producing is a job where you have to. Someone said to me when I first got my first producing job, she said you need to have really thick shoulders, and I think that's because you're constantly pitching. Sometimes you're getting knocked back. You're constantly sorting out problems and fixing. Every show has its quirks, and so you have to be able to just to kind of take it on the chin, but also go, okay, I'm here to help. I'm here to fix things. The other thing I think that I've learned across my career, and it's actually part of the Banijay ethos, is that I think micromanaging people is a dreadful thing to do, and allowing people freedom and latitude to grow will generally get the best out of people. And the best ideas can come from anywhere. So letting people have a voice and letting people listening to ideas and listening to concepts and also allowing people to make mistakes but grow and support them and put them into an environment where they can really perform and shine, and be a safety net is kind of, for me, the fundamental way of getting the best and the most creative results out of my team.
And speaking of shows, what would be kind of the Banijay show that you would be a contestant on?
It has to be MasterChef. I love to cook and I like to think I'm quite good, but I think I would have a lot of fun on that show.
Even like competing under pressure would be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thrive under pressure. No, actually, I do. No, I think it would. I just think I always look at that show and I find it really inspirational. And I think, it would be a lot of fun to be on one of those episodes.
Have you ever thought about kind of if there could be something else that you could be doing either within Banijay or outside, what would it be?
For me to try to grow New Zealand into being a real hub for drama content and for, and for kind of outdoor content, because of our landscape that we have in New Zealand and really taking advantage of it, would be a dream for me to have a really, really big slate. And I think everyone would be pretty curious to jump into Marco's shoes and see what goes on there on a daily basis. I think I I always really admire, I guess, the ambition of Marco and seeing what he's driving for and how he's taking the company and given the kind of television environment and sort of always looking at opportunities to develop it and strengthen it and different areas to grow into. And I think that that's it's been fascinating to watch over the last 13 years and being able to be a part of that. And so I think that would be an interesting place to spend a few days. No, but I think there's just there's ways to tell stories, and I think working in a collaborative way with different markets, particularly in this environment, and of course I'm coming at it from a Kiwi lens. We're a small country with a small population, so we're in a unique place, but we have just the most incredible locations and variety of landscape and great crew that work on a lot of international shows. So I think, it's just really trying to find the ways to make New Zealand content shine.
Great. Well, I think that was the perfect way to end it. Thank you so much, Billy, for joining us today.